Whether you love her or hate her, these 10 moments changed the WNBA forever. Over the next few minutes, we're counting down the plays and flashpoints that sparked controversy, set new ratings records, made headlines, and forced the league to face unprecedented scrutiny. From social media uproars to business deals and policy debates, each entry shows how Caitlin Clark rewrote the rules, both on court and off. And when we reach number 1, you'll see the moment her impact fundamentally shifted the WNBA's power structure. Let's begin with the first spark that set it all in motion. In the 10th place, a single shot in Iowa City set off a national chain reaction. With the clock winding down in overtime against Ohio State on March 3rd, 2024, Caitlin Clark stepped into the corner and drained a three-pointer that not only clinched the game, but also broke the NCAA's all-time scoring record. The arena erupted. The moment went viral online. In less than 48 hours, the highlight racked up over 10 million views across platforms, with hashtags like #CaitlinClark, record dominating social feeds. ESPN led with the story, and The Athletic ran front-page features projecting her impact on the WNBA. That viral moment did not just crown a college legend, it recalibrated national expectations, turning draft anticipation into a cultural event and making Clark's leap to the pros the most watched in league history. Number 9, the 2024 WNBA Draft Night in Brooklyn shattered every precedent for women's basketball on television. As Caitlin Clark's name was called first overall, the broadcast surged to 2.4 million viewers, over 5 times the previous year's audience, and the highest ever for a WNBA draft. ESPN and ABC cut live from NBA studio coverage, treating the moment as national headline news. Advertisers responded immediately, with ad rates for the event doubling in the days leading up to the broadcast. The New York Times ran a front-page story, and on social media, the hashtag WNBA Draft trended at the top, clocking millions of impressions. For the league, this was more than a celebration. It was a business inflection point. The spike in viewership converted Clark's college hype into measurable revenue, signaling to sponsors and networks that the WNBA had become prime-time property. In 8th place on June 1st, 2024, under the Commissioner's Cup lights in Indianapolis, Caitlin Clark ignited more than just the scoreboard. She scored 22 points, capped by a deep 3 from the Fever logo, electrifying a sold-out Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The real surge happened at the register. Fever merchandise sales spiked 150% in the hours after the final buzzer, overwhelming the team store and crashing online inventory. ABC's broadcast peaked at 1.8 million viewers. For the first time, the league could track Clark's impact in real dollars, with jerseys, hats, and shirts flying off shelves at a pace the WNBA had never seen. This was not just a ratings bump, it was a direct translation of hype into revenue, signaling a new era where fan enthusiasm became immediate business for the league. Number 7, the first major officiating flashpoint arrived on May 25th, 2024, when Caitlin Clark was whistled for a technical foul in the third quarter against Chicago. The call landed at 4 minutes 12 seconds in the period, after Clark argued contact on a drive and exchanged words with the referees. What followed was more than a single whistle. Chicago fans voiced their displeasure, while players and analysts across the league weighed in. Diana Taurasi, a veteran, remarked on ESPN, "Welcome to the WNBA," as debate flared over the league's tolerance for physical play and star treatment. The hashtag #FreeCaitlin surged to 3 million impressions overnight, trending across X and fueling heated discussion on debate panels from Stephen A. Smith to the Athletic's player roundtables. The very next day, the league issued an official officiating memo, signaling a rare public response to a single player's treatment. This moment did not just spotlight Clark's polarizing presence. It forced the WNBA to confront how it governs its own spectacle, setting the stage for deeper labor and governance battles to come. Number 6. The night of June 7th, 2024, delivered a sight the WNBA had never witnessed. Gainbridge Fieldhouse burst at the seams as 49,831 fans poured in to see Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever face the Washington Mystics, obliterating every previous attendance record for a women's professional basketball game. StubHub tickets averaged $450 on the secondary market, and local news described an economic windfall for downtown Indianapolis. The New York Times headline read simply, "Clark packs the house." This wasn't just a sellout, it was a statement. For the first time, the league saw undeniable stadium-scale proof that demand for women's basketball could rival any major sporting event. The live gate alone signaled a new era, with in-person revenue and citywide impact that forced team owners and league officials to rethink what was possible for the WNBA. Number 5. The Team USA selection debate in the summer of 2024 sent shockwaves through the basketball world. When Caitlin Clark's name was left off the Olympic roster, the reaction was immediate and fierce. USA Basketball issued a carefully worded statement about roster depth, but the public saw something else: a generational talent sidelined on the world stage. Hashtag Clark snub and hashtag Let Her Play surged to more than 20 million impressions in a matter of days, dominating X, ESPN, CNN, and debate shows across the dial. The New York Times ran op-eds dissecting the decision, while the WNBPA referenced the controversy in statements about collective bargaining, framing the omission as part of a larger struggle for player power. This was not just a roster decision, it became a flashpoint, turning fan outrage into labor leverage and forcing the league to reckon with its own future. And if you think this is just hype, wait until you see what happened at number 3. Number 4, April 2024, marked a turning point in the business of women's basketball. Nike announced a multi-year endorsement contract with Caitlin Clark, carrying a reported value of $28 million. This was not just a shoe deal, it was a statement. For the first time, a WNBA rookie commanded a contract on par with top NBA prospects, shattering every previous benchmark for women's sports sponsorship. Ad Age called the agreement precedent-setting, while industry analysts pointed to the ripple effect. Brands were no longer waiting to see if rookie hype would translate. They were betting big and betting early. The deal's size instantly recalibrated salary expectations across the league. The WNBPA issued a statement applauding the new standard, framing it as leverage for future collective bargaining. In a single stroke, Clark's off-court value became a market force, forcing the league, sponsors, and even broadcasters to rethink what a star is worth and what the next contract might look like. Number 3, May 14th, 2024, when Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court for her first regular season game as a pro, the WNBA entered a new media era. ABC's primetime broadcast of the Indiana Fever opener against the Connecticut Sun drew an average of 1.6 million viewers, shattering every league regular season ratings mark since 2002. Nielsen's breakdown showed a spike in the women 18 to 49 demographic, with the broadcast outdrawing NBA playoff coverage in overlapping time slots. The network's gamble to move a WNBA debut into a coveted evening window paid off instantly. National advertisers took notice. 3 new sponsors, including State Farm and AT&T, bought inventory within a week, forcing ABC to reallocate ad space for the rest of the season. Executives from ESPN and Disney called it a watershed moment, as the league's media partners began shifting more games to national windows. This was not just about one night. It set a new baseline for what women's basketball could deliver, clearing the runway for a season of sustained record-breaking performance and rewriting the network playbook for the entire league. Number 2. The 2024 regular season closed with Caitlin Clark not just defying expectations, but rewriting the league's statistical hierarchy. Across 36 games, Clark averaged 8.4 assists per contest, outpacing every veteran and establishing herself as the WNBA assist leader as a rookie. This was not a flash in the pan. Night after night, her vision and precision carved defenses apart, fueling highlight reels that dominated ESPN nightly coverage and trended on X, with millions replaying her signature no-look passes. Behind the box scores, the business of basketball shifted. Fever home attendance soared by 150% compared to the previous year, with sellouts becoming routine and secondary ticket prices rivaling NBA markets. The sustained excitement did not just fill seats, it convinced sponsors to double down. Gatorade, after months of tracking Clark's impact, inked a multi-year deal with the Fever before the season even ended. By September, every metric, on the court and in the boardroom, pointed to one conclusion. Clark's season-long dominance was not just hype. It was proof of concept, validating the league's media investments and setting a new standard for what one player's consistency can mean for an entire sport. And finally, in first place, the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game redefined what was possible for the league. On July 20th, 2024, more than 3 million viewers tuned in to ABC, making it the most watched non-finals broadcast in WNBA history. The numbers were staggering, a 233% increase over the previous year, and a clear signal that the league had entered a new era. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert stood at the post-game podium and called it the Clark era, crediting Caitlin Clark's arrival for the unprecedented surge in attention and revenue. In that moment, the conversation shifted from hype to hard evidence. Expansion memos circulated within weeks, with league officials citing the All-Star ratings as justification for accelerating plans to add new franchises in Toronto and Portland. Media rights negotiations, already underway, took on new urgency as networks pointed directly to the All-Star viewership as leverage for a record-breaking $2.7 billion deal. For the first time, every stakeholder, from team owners to sponsors to the players' union, could see the transformation in real time. The All-Star Game didn't just break records, it forced the league's hand, tying Clark's star power to tangible growth and setting the stage for a future built on undeniable momentum. If you're still watching, comment the words "Change the League" below. Across all 10 moments, one pattern stands out. The league's center of gravity has shifted. Caitlin Clark's impact is measured not just in statistics, but in rising audiences, urgent contract debates, and transformed media coverage. This is what it looks like when one athlete changes the stakes for everyone. If you are still watching, comment "Change the League" below.
Of the day for Brazil. Here's Clark. Wow! You bet! From beyond the logo! And a little point after. I mean, come on.
Picture this. Caitlin Clark hits a deep logo 3.
Impact and what it has done and how they are living out their dreams today.
And right on cue, Clark connects on another bomb. 2 for 2 for 3.
The crowd explodes. Her teammates rush over. The TV cameras zoom in. And she doesn't scream. She doesn't pound her chest. She doesn't taunt the other team. She just looks up into the stands and quietly makes a heart with her hands. Most people think that's a cute celebration, but it's not. It is a private message, and it has a story that says everything about who Caitlin Clark really is, how she handles fame, and why she has changed women's basketball forever.
You know, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1. People don't see the numbers below, like the economic impact, 36 million she drove to Indianapolis just by showing up as a rookie and making history.
Today, we're breaking down the real meaning behind Caitlin Clark's heart gesture, how it started, how it got dragged into controversy, and why it might be the most important symbol in all of women's sports. If you've watched Caitlin Clark since Iowa, you already know this. The heart doesn't go to the cameras. It doesn't go to the whole arena. It goes to one place, her family.
Like that?
I like that you're here. I like that you're here.
I do that at my family after every game, so
okay,
it's pretty cool.
Every game, her parents, Brent and Ann, and her brothers tried to be in the building. From empty gyms in youth basketball to sold-out arenas in college, they were the constant. When the rest of the world saw a superstar, they still saw their kid. So somewhere along the way, as the noise got louder and the cameras got closer, Caitlin made a choice. She needed a way to say, "I love you," that could cut through all of it. No microphones, no interviews, no speeches, just one simple signal that her family would always understand. That's where the heart started. Not as a brand, not as a marketing plan, but as a silent code between a daughter and her family in the stands. She hits a big shot. She looks up. She forms the heart. And in the middle of the chaos, it's like she's back in a small gym in Iowa, just playing in front of the people who knew her before the world did. As her game exploded at Iowa, the heart exploded with it. She broke the NCAA scoring record.
Clark from the logo! She gets it out of that left hand, and it's money.
You bet! He's trying to redirect a pass. Clark. Oh my!
Clark, can she answer? Of course. You better be careful. There might be another one coming right here.
She pulled up from the logo. She dragged Iowa to back-to-back national title games. Every arena she walked into sold out. TV ratings spiked past NBA games. The Caitlin Clark effect became a real economic engine for women's basketball. But therefore, something else happened too. When she made that heart, kids started copying it. You could see it in the crowd. Little girls wearing Iowa 22 jerseys, forming hearts back at her. Parents holding up signs with drawn hearts on them. The gesture stopped being just a private message. It turned into a bridge. On one side, Caitlin and her family. On the other side, millions of fans who felt for the first time that women's basketball was being treated like a main event. The heart became a symbol of that. Not trash talk, not ego, not "look at me." Just, "I see you. You see me. We're in this together." But the moment something becomes powerful, people will test it. So when Caitlin Clark was introduced as a member of the Indiana Fever in April 2024, that heart gesture walked straight into a storm. At her first big press conference, with cameras rolling and her entire pro career about to begin, a columnist from the Indianapolis Star, Greg Doyel, tried to be clever. He made the heart sign at her, right there. Caitlin stayed calm. She explained politely, "I do that at my family after every game."
I do that at my family after every game, so
Okay,
it's
well,
pretty cool.
That should have been the end of it. But instead of respecting that boundary, he joked back, "Start doing it to me and we'll get along just fine."
start doing it to me and we'll get along just fine. So,
In that moment, everything changed. The thing she used to protect herself was suddenly being used as a prop. The clip went viral. Fans were angry. Women's sports advocates called it out as creepy and unprofessional.
I think Caitlin gave him a lot of grace. She didn't fire back. She didn't try to make a big deal about it. She really just kept things moving, and she and a lot of athletes sometimes get asked very insensitive and delicate questions.
And here's why it hit so hard. People already knew Caitlin Clark was carrying pressure that most rookies never face. She was supposed to save a franchise, carry a league's ratings, be the face of every brand from Nike to Gatorade. But that heart wasn't part of that business. It was hers. So when someone tried to make it a joke, it exposed how often women athletes have their boundaries tested in ways men don't. And the reaction to that moment was the world saying, "No, you don't get to take this from her." The columnist apologized. He was suspended.
The reporter is now apologizing, calling his comments clumsy and awkward.
The story faded from the news cycle. But for Caitlin, the meaning of the heart didn't change. If anything, it became even more clear. This is not for you. This is for them, my family. Once she actually stepped on the court in the WNBA, the heart came with her. In her rookie season with the Indiana Fever, Caitlin did what stars are supposed to do. She turned a struggling franchise into must-see TV. She led the league in assists. She dropped the first rookie triple-double in WNBA history.
The others coming into the game.
Logo! Clark with a deep three.
Three that you've been waiting for.
Clark, nice feed. Wallace with the layup. And Caitlin Clark catalyzing a comeback here.
Bonner gets denied by Boston. Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
She dragged Indiana back into the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Every big run felt like something out of a movie. Logo threes, no-look passes, crowds in Fever gear and old Iowa jerseys. And still, after those moments, she would look for them. Her parents in the crowd, her people. Heart hands, game after game, arena after arena, you could see it. A superstar who refuses to let the sport swallow her whole. Because here's the secret, the heart isn't just about love, it's about control. Caitlin can't control the refs. She can't control what talking heads say about her. She can't control who takes cheap shots at her on the court or online.
I'm talking about in college. Who plays the style that how
What is the
plays?
style? Just threes?
Wow. It's not just threes.
What is her style?
Second page. Next question. So you get the #1 pick this year. You would take Paige over Caitlin?
Absolutely.
Does Caitlin Clark need a championship to be considered one of the greats in women's college basketball history?
Yeah.
But she can control who that gesture goes to. She can choose to keep one part of her career rooted in something that existed long before the fame. That is why the heart matters. There's another layer to this too. Women's basketball has been pulled into culture wars over celebrations and trash talk. Think about the "you can't see me" gesture. Think about all the debates around Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and what is acceptable when women show emotion. People argued for weeks over taunts, hand waves, and face gestures. But therefore, Caitlin's heart sits in complete contrast to all of that. It's not about humiliating an opponent. It's not about flexing on the other team. It's soft. It's vulnerable. It's almost the exact opposite of what we expect from a killer scorer who pulls from 30 feet. And that's what makes it so powerful. Because it tells young players watching at home, you can be fierce and kind. You can chase records and still honor your family. You can live inside a business that treats you like an asset, but still keep something that is only yours. In a sports world that rewards loud, aggressive branding, her biggest brand moment is a quiet, "I love you," aimed at the people who loved her first. Away from the cameras, her life is built on that same foundation. Caitlin grew up in West Des Moines, Iowa, in a family where sport was normal and work ethic was expected. Her dad played sports in college. Her brothers pushed her, competed with her, and refused to treat her like anything less than one of the guys. Her parents drove her to games, watched her fail, watched her rise, and stayed with her through everything long before anyone knew her name. So when you see her pause and make that heart, you're not just seeing a celebration, you're seeing years of rides to practice. You're seeing long nights in empty gyms. You're seeing a family that poured everything into a dream they couldn't guarantee would pay off. Now it has. Nike money, national commercials, Rookie of the Year, record-breaking ratings. But in her world, the heart is still payment too. A small way of saying, "This is ours. We did this together." Of course, the story hasn't been perfect. In 2025, her second WNBA season was cut short by a serious groin injury. 13 games, that's all she got. For the first time in years, fans had to imagine a WNBA season without Caitlin Clark in it. No nightly logo threes, no no-look passes, no heart gestures to the stands. Instead, they saw photos of her rehabbing, stories about her turning down the new, unrivaled 3-on-3 league so she could get fully healthy for 2026. And something interesting happened. Even when she wasn't playing, that heart symbol stayed alive. Fans kept doing it in pictures. Kids still posted TikToks hitting backyard shots and throwing hearts to the camera. Posters, fan art, and brand campaigns all leaned into it. The gesture kept moving, even when she couldn't. That's when you know a symbol has escaped the person who started it. It still belongs to her, but it also belongs to anyone who has ever felt seen and inspired by her journey. Now, as she prepares for her return, Caitlin Clark is in a place no one else in women's basketball has ever been. She is one of the highest earning athletes in the sport. She has a huge Nike deal, a signature shoe, and more sponsorship money than most entire teams have in salary. She has carried college ratings, WNBA ratings, and national debates. People call it the Caitlin Clark effect. They point to sold-out arenas and record TV numbers. But here's the part that gets missed. The thing that made all of that work was never just the logo threes. It was the connection. You can copy a shooting form. You can copy a move. But what fans plugged into was the feeling that this person was real, that she was playing for something deeper than herself. And that's what the heart says every single time. I'm not just here for the lights. I'm here for them, my family, the people who believed first. So the next time you see Caitlin Clark make that gesture after a big shot, remember this. It is not random. It is not just a cute pose. It is a story. A story about a kid from Iowa who became the face of women's basketball. A story about a family that never missed a game. A story about boundaries, respect, and what happens when the world tries to turn a private signal into a public joke. A story about how, in a sport built on competition, the most powerful symbol might actually be love. And now, I want to hear from you. What does Caitlin Clark's heart gesture mean to you? Do you have a favorite moment where she used it? Have you, or your kids, copied it in your own games? Drop your thoughts and your stories in the comments. Because in the end, that heart isn't just between Caitlin and her family anymore. It's between her and all of us who are watching what she's building.